Greetings and gratitude, and welcome back to my channel. In today's message, we will discuss conscious versus unconscious, knowing versus not knowing. This is the difference between those that have spiritually awakened to attune to that of the higher self versus the unconsciousness that is prevalent amongst humanity at this time. In this message, we will gift to you ways in which to raise of your own vibration to align to that of your higher self. The conscious are those that are attuned to the frequency of light. Frequency scales from dense to light, unconscious to conscious, depending on your connection back to all things. When you connect to light, you are led by your higher self and guided by the principles of consciousness. View frequency as a way of being to allow love to guide you. Love encompasses many facets, including compassion, understanding, kindness, grace, forgiveness. By holding space for the relative unknown, alignment with intent can show the infinite possibility that exists. What Spirit references as light is that with which you attune. Frequency is rated in denseness. Third density here on Earth is rated as one of the densest within existence. So in order to attune and align to light, remember that is referring to a lightness, you must begin to remove and release all unwanted and unnecessary dramas and trivialities from your existence to allow the weight to be lifted to connect to lightness within that of your soul. Infinite possibility exists to show a multitude of experiences can occur in order to gain the desired outcome. Loosening your grip on how circumstance must happen allows destined opportunity to show up for the betterment of your existence. By removing chaotic energy and attuning to love, frequency of light can emerge, allowing your higher self to connect back to that of Christ consciousness. Humanity's current mindset is very limited in their understanding. Tunnel vision clouds the infinite possibility that is always in existence. When we focus on the journey and the way in which it has to occur, we are blinded by limited mindset. When we open to knowing the destination while loosening the grip and allowing circumstance to arise, we allow ourselves to be ever present to dictate and determine the next stance and steps within the journey guided by that of the higher self. The unconscious have been given perceived power for far too long. The unconscious are unknowing, unknowledgeable, forgetting their purpose as a soul, being led by that of the ego. Unconscious behavior favors those unwilling to acknowledge truth outside of humanity. The ego expresses what it has been shown, whether rooted in falsehood or reality, makes no difference. Succumbing to the notion of lack of perception of loss guides a rhetoric of fear and hatred and presents itself within the realm of illusion. To fully embrace your earthly existence, you must connect back to that of your higher self. Allow the knowledge collected to guide and lead through clarity and harmony. Removing the mundane and shifting into extraordinary connects to and reinvigorates the magic found within. We must remember that the ego is neither good nor bad, just is. The ego connects to what it currently knows within this incarnation. The soul has gathered knowledge throughout all of its existences, thus gaining an understanding on how to move forward without being stuck within the stagnancy of life on earth. Illusion is strictly the veil that exists between the ego and the soul. The veil exists because the ego has lost sight of the true intent with which the soul came to earth in the first place. Purpose is found within the soul, not through earthly circumstance that the ego likes to attach, but from the understanding that unconditional love for and from all things leads to clarity of mind and peace as your new state of being. To give understanding to self and another, possibility for freedom from control remains an option, aligning trust as guide to deliver peace within self. Understanding holds a double meaning: connection to knowledge and compassion for the unconscious. Without either, unconditional love cannot exist. The power and understanding lies within the relationship you keep with self. By showing grace and consideration to self, directly reflects the stance with which you pose for the rest of humanity. So much that we speak of refers to the healing from within. Until a healed heart exists, grievance and hardship leads and determines your stance moving forward. Once that is released, you have full connection to that of unconditional love, which is exhibited through your higher self. Understanding of the understanding of the unconscious must be witnessed, as the unconscious themselves don't realize what they are unconscious to. They are strictly living in fear of the unknown. Knowledge is based in the relationship you keep with your higher self. The connection you have to your higher self transcends all time and space. Knowledge is the reconnection to the wisdom collected over many lifetimes. Once you connect back to this wisdom, the easier your current existence shall become. The only way to access wisdom is through true connection with the soul. Those possessing no knowledge are currently stuck in the repetitive cycle of humanity. You must set aside convention by shifting the energy flow from attachment to freedom, by releasing former versions of self to build again in the likeness of your soul. Newfound wisdom will align you with the intended path set forth prior to this earthly incarnation. What you must remember is your higher self set out the blueprint of this existence prior to you getting to earth. Based in the veil that exists between the ego and that of your higher self, the ego has forgot its place within the necessity to bring humanity home. When peace and clarity become forefront to your earthly existence, another may perceive this as naivety. However, another's opinion of your journey is of no concern, as harmony within is paramount for your existence. When you connect with truth to realize all aspects shown within your earthly existence is merely illusion, weight is lifted, both physically and figuratively, aligning you to the light body intended for this experience. When merge is complete, your soul, backed by infinite knowledge, acts as guide for the remainder of your time on earth. Align to this knowledge to gain complete understanding within. What is of necessity at this time is the removal of all hardship and grievance, keeping you stuck and stagnant within the cycle of sameness. In order to align with peace and clarity, you must release and remove all indignities that are weighing you down. Reconnect back to that of your higher self so that lightness may exist again. In gratitude, I gift and receive infinite, unconditional love to and from you, always and forever.